Kennedy, members of the committee, I have seen how critical illness affects people who do not have access to medical insurance and must use their savings to pay for housing. They often become homeless people. I've seen how trying to pay living expenses and childcare affects working couples with low or minimum income wage jobs. Unable to save money, they're one disaster away from becoming homeless. I've seen and spoken to steel workers and other industrial workers who have lost their jobs when the plants closed. Failure to retain these workers has resulted in homelessness for many of them and their families. These are but a few examples of proud, competent people who are willing to and want to work, yet they're homeless due to personal crisis which required an outlay of cash that they simply do not have. They are homeless because of an illness or the lack of affordable daycare or the death of a family wage earner or the loss of employment, situations and circumstances beyond their personal control. Homelessness is a complicated problem. It is a very serious problem. I would not be here today, however, if I did not believe that it was a problem that can and should be reduced and eliminated. I believe strongly that this bill, the Homelessness Prevention and Community Revitalization Act of 1990, will go a long way toward reducing homelessness and enhancing the quality of life for those who are now homeless, preventing future homelessness, and improving the communities and housing in which low-income people live. Once again, I would like to thank you, Senator Kennedy, for inviting me to testify before this committee. I think it's an incredible thing that the bill addresses the problem from the inside out. What we've been doing for the last 4 years is basically putting a Band-Aid on a very gaping wound. But this program has incredible possibilities to deal with basically keeping people in their homes, dealing with the fact that just keeping people in the low-income housing that they already have. That's an amazing potential. I think that'd be wonderful.
Another like the old documenting committees.
It's a strange thing, HUD. I always think of it sounds like a movie.
What we have here is a failure to documentate.
Difficult thing, but you've done something amazing, and I hope that you can go to the next part of the appropriation so that you have the ammunition to go with it that can really fund it. That's incredible. I hope it works because the problem cannot be denied anymore. We cannot be a kinder, blinder nation. We must look, and you have to see it, and it's there. People like Carmen. Even the census, I hope, gives a realistic assessment of it. I hope so. I kind of doubt it. To get a realistic assessment of all the homeless people would take almost a one-on-one. But I hope that happens. I hope that you have realistic figures that you can show people. This would be part of it. And a bill like this, and that's why we're back, because I think this is very much worth supporting. We've been holding the fort. We call for the cavalry. You're the cavalry. Senator Dunbar will be back soon. We're hoping for the best. I do believe this can work in an incredible way from a grassroots level, that the money can get to that and prevent, really, truly prevent homelessness. That's where it lies. You can't keep picking people up. You have to stop them from falling. That's what I hope. Thank you. I present just my simple soul and hope that you do continue this in a bipartisan way. It is wonderful to see two parties getting together and not basically going, well, I don't know. It's wonderful. I congratulate you and hope this continues. And I hope that we can pull this one off. And I know you can. I wish you the best. And I'll come back if you need it. I'll write you some more lines.
I guess I'm trying to get back to the root cause of why the problem seems to be growing and not diminishing.
Excuse me, if you respond on a personal level, you talk about people not doing things. And there's a lady in San Francisco who basically fixes 400 sandwiches a day to feed people. There's other cases like that, I think, all over the country where people basically put their own assets out, put their assets on the line. This woman basically takes care of a program that somewhere was not taken care of. I don't know how many people show, but she basically was running it out of her house, and she takes it down to them. Talk about, there's the appropriations, supplementary appropriations for the McKinney Act is in some committee today. It comes in this afternoon, I guess. There's a potential there for a potential cut of $2.5 million in that committee. This is something where they're cutting back something that you praised today, the McKinney Act. These are things, realistic cuts. I think people are trying. Comic relief is just the tip of the iceberg of people who care. They're sending, like she said, school children. There is an effort. She talked about the reverend who took care of it. It said that
I'm sorry. But I don't want to be an emperor. That's not my business. I don't want to rule or conquer anyone. I should like to help everyone if possible. Jew, Gentile, black man, white. We all want to help one another. Human beings are like that. We want to live by each other's happiness, not by each other's misery. We don't want to hate and despise one another. In this world there's room for everyone, and the good earth is rich and can provide for everyone. The way of life can be free and beautiful, but we have lost the way. Greed has poisoned men's souls, has barricaded the world with hate, has goose-stepped us into misery and bloodshed. We have developed speed, but we have shut ourselves in. Machinery that gives abundance has left us in want. Our knowledge has made us cynical, our cleverness hard and unkind. We think too much and feel too little. More than machinery, we need humanity. More than cleverness, we need kindness and gentleness. Without these qualities, life will be violent, and all will be lost. The aeroplane and the radio have brought us closer together. The very nature of these inventions cries out for the goodness in men, cries out for universal brotherhood, for the unity of us all. Even now, my voice is reaching millions throughout the world, millions of despairing men, women, and little children, victims of a system that makes men torture and imprison innocent people. To those who can hear me, I say, do not despair. The misery that is now upon us is but the passing of greed, the bitterness of men who fear the way of human progress. The hate of men will pass, and dictators die, and the power they took from the people will return to the people. And so long as men die, liberty will never perish. Soldiers, don't give yourselves to brutes, men who despise you, enslave you, who regiment your lives, tell you what to do, what to think, and what to feel, who drill you, diet you, treat you like cattle, use you as cannon fodder. Don't give yourselves to these unnatural men, machine men with machine minds and machine hearts. You are not machines, you are not cattle, you are men. You have the love of humanity in your hearts. You don't hate, only the unloved hate, the unloved and the unnatural. Soldiers, don't fight for slavery, fight for liberty. In the 17th chapter of St. Luke it is written, the kingdom of God is within man, not one man nor a group of men, but in all men, in you. You, the people, have the power to create machines, the power to create happiness. You, the people, have the power to make this life free and beautiful, to make this life a wonderful adventure. Then in the name of democracy, let us use that power. Let us all unite. Let us fight for a new world, a decent world, that will give men a chance to work, that will give youth a future and old age a security. By the promise of these things, brutes have risen to power, but they lie. They do not fulfill that promise. They never will. Dictators free themselves, but they enslave the people. Now let us fight to fulfill that promise. Let us fight to free the world, to do away with national barriers, to do away with greed, with hate and intolerance. Let us fight for a world of reason, a world where science and progress will lead to all men's happiness. Soldiers, in the name of democracy, let us all unite!